When the guns fell silent in 1945, survival did not become easier. For millions across Europe and parts of Asia, the first winter after the war was deadlier than many battles. Cities lay in rubble, supply lines were broken, fuel was gone, and food systems had collapsed. There were no relief trucks arriving on schedule, and no modern emergency infrastructure to fall back on. Families had to rely on knowledge, not equipment. What followed was a quiet exchange of survival tricks passed between kitchens, barns, basements, and half-standing homes. These were not heroic acts. They were practical decisions made to survive the cold, hunger, and darkness. What matters is that these same methods still work today, exactly as they did then. Potato peels became fire when fuel no longer existed. In the first post-war winter, starting a fire was often harder than keeping one going. Coal yards were empty and nearby forests stripped bare. Families who still had potatoes learned quickly that the skins were not waste. Potato peels were dried slowly near stoves, hung in cloth sacks, or laid on boards above what little heat remained in the house. Once fully dry, they burned hot and fast due to their starch and oil content. A handful could ignite damp wood or weak kindling when paper failed. Children were often tasked with collecting and drying them daily. Even today, dried potato peels remain an effective fire starter during blackouts or winter emergencies. Twisted yarn replaced lantern wicks when factories were gone. With electricity destroyed, oil lamps were the only light source, but replacement wicks were impossible to find. Families unravelled old wool sweaters, scarves and blankets, twisting multiple strands into tight cords. These were dipped in cooking fat, wax or lamp oil to stiffen them before use. The result was a functional wick that burned steadily when trimmed carefully. These handmade wicks kept homes lit through long winter nights and still work today for anyone using oil lamps off-grid. Ice block meat safes replaced refrigeration overnight. With power grids down, families preserved meat using ice cut from rivers and ponds. Large blocks were wrapped in straw or sawdust and placed in wooden crates or barrels. Meat, dairy and fish were stored alongside the ice and buried or kept in shaded cellars. The insulation slowed melting, keeping food cold for weeks. This system required no electricity and relied entirely on winter temperatures. In modern outages during freezing weather, the same principle can still preserve food safely. Charcoal-cleaned snow became drinkable water. With wells frozen and pipes destroyed, snow became the primary water source. But snow often contained ash and debris. Families crushed clean charcoal from stoves into fine powder and stirred a small amount into melted snow water. After settling, impurities sank with the charcoal and the clearer water was poured off. This simple method improved taste and safety without fuel-intensive boiling. It remains a useful emergency technique when filtration options are limited. Eggshell powder quietly prevented malnutrition. Food scarcity after the war meant vitamin and mineral deficiencies became deadly. Eggshells were cleaned, boiled, dried and crushed into powder. This powder was added to bread dough, soups and porridge to supplement calcium when dairy was unavailable. It was rarely discussed openly, but widely practiced. Today, this method is still used by homesteaders during long-term shortages. Rope beds and wire frames stopped the ground from killing sleepers. Cold floors drained body heat faster than air, you know. Families scavenged wire from ruins and wove it across bed frames or wooden supports to elevate sleeping surfaces. Straw, blankets, or even clothing were placed on top. Even just a few inches of separation from the frozen ground significantly reduced heat loss. This principle, well, it remains one of the most effective cold weather survival rules today. Felted wool scraps save feet from frostbite. Proper winter boots were, you know, pretty scarce. Felted wool liners made from old coats and blankets were layered or packed into boots. Wool retained warmth even when damp and dramatically reduced heat loss through the soles. Liners were removed nightly to dry and reused repeatedly. This method remains valid for anyone facing prolonged cold exposure without modern gear. Survival after the war depended on creation, not possession. The first winter after World War II proved that survival does not come from equipment lists or store shelves. It comes from understanding materials, seasons, and the physics of heat, moisture, and nutrition. These methods worked because they addressed fundamentals, not conveniences. If knowledge like this matters to you, if you believe history should teach survival, not nostalgia, then subscribe to the Wartime Frontlines and share this with someone who should know it.